Are you thinking about moving to Des Moines? Well, before you pack your bags, you're gonna need to hear this because although we love Des Moines, it's not perfect, and these are things I think you need to know before you make that move here. So let's get right into it. The first thing you need to know about is that we have high property taxes here in central Iowa. Here in Polk County, our median tax rate is about 1.7% compared to the national median of about 1%. Now, Dallas and Warren counties, the counties around us, aren't much better either. We also saw a lot of pain happen during the post-COVID market when property values skyrocketed and many people's tax assessments went up. We all felt that. Everyone had a problem with it. Some people even tried to fight it. But as homes appreciate in our market and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future, you need to make sure that you're aware that your assessments might go up yet again, and you need to make sure that you're having a proper plan in place for taxes. They are high, you might be shocked, so just make sure you have a proper plan when you're looking at homes. Make sure you're budgeting for that, make sure that that's in mind when you're looking at a house. The other thing I'll mention is that we have a lot of new construction here in the Des Moines area. Well over a third of our inventory is new construction homes. And so what does that mean for you? Really, it means that you just need to make sure that you fully understand what's coming your way with taxes. Yes, tax abatements are great. Yes, having a little delay on taxes is amazing and it might save you a little money on the front. But many people are extremely shocked when they really get to the time of paying their taxes and didn't properly know what was coming their way. So make sure you know what's coming your way, make sure you understand why and when, and make sure you properly are setting funds aside into an escrow account so you don't have a problem and you don't have to roll it over into your mortgage and have to deal with it later on. The second thing to talk about is that public transportation is not great. In fact, it's almost non-existent. We do have a bus system, a public bus system called DART, and while they've improved over the past few years and have put a lot of time and energy and resources into it, it's still not a reliable source of transportation. In fact, I've never in my life been on the DART bus. We also don't have subways, trains, or anything of that regard. So, unfortunately, I really think that unless you exist within a very confined space and live close to a grocery store, you almost have to have your own car. Now, on the plus side, traffic really isn't bad here. I can honestly say that you can get just about anywhere in the metro within 20 to 25 minutes, and we don't really have a massive rush hour traffic. Of course, traffic increases, but you're not going to be stuck in traffic for an hour. So if you're coming from LA, that piece might be nice, but if you're coming from Chicago and New York, where you're heavily relying on public transportation, it might be a little shock to the system. So just something to know about, and that bus is not reliable, so don't plan on it. Now the third thing is the weather. And by weather, I mean that we get all 4 seasons. Some people love it, some people hate it, but it's something you need to know about. So we get about 200 days of sunshine a year, so that's probably a little low, especially if you're playing the comparison game with somewhere like Miami or San Diego. But a lot of people, like I said, like the 4 seasons. Spring and fall are fantastic. Winter can get very cold though. Now, winters are not super bad compared to many other places, especially more north in the Midwest, but we do get sub-zero temperatures for a couple of weeks throughout the year. Now, the average temperature in the winter is about 33 degrees, but you do need to plan for a few weeks out of this winter to be below zero, freezing, bone-chilling cold that you will not want to go outside. It's not sunny, it's windy, and it's freezing, so just make sure that you're aware of it. But if you're okay with bundling up, it's really not so bad compared to many other places. Now, summers, on the other hand, are very humid and very hot. The average high temperature is about in the low 80 degree range. But, of course, as you get deep into the summer, we do get a couple days and maybe weeks out of the summer that are over 100 degrees. So, we have a full range of seasons. Just make sure that you know what's coming your way. Make sure you're prepared on all fronts. And if you like all 4 seasons, it's something that you are going to enjoy. Something else to mention is that spring is tornado season. We do get tornadoes. We obviously don't have any hurricanes or tsunamis or earthquakes really, but we do have tornadoes. Tornadoes can be bad as they whip through the Midwest here in the spring. So another thing to be wary about, make sure that you have a plan in place for tornadoes, as well as the extreme temperatures on the high and low side. And it can be volatile. I'm not joking when I say that literally last week we had one day that was just about 70 degrees, and within 2 days later we had a blizzard. So that's Iowa for you. Welcome to Iowa if you're ready for it. Now the fourth reason is limited entertainment and nightlife. Now I do think that we have a very good food scene. I've mentioned that before in many videos, and I think that I really have enjoyed going and trying new restaurants. But if you're looking for nightlife, that is something we certainly lack in a little bit, especially if you're looking to do something like clubbing. You will not find downtown Des Moines rows and rows and streets of bars and nightlife options. If you seek it, you will find them. They exist, but a lot of them, especially on weeknights, might close earlier than you're thinking. We don't have things that are 24/7, and we don't really have food that's 24/7 either. So a lot of dive bar options, a lot of really great bars, a lot of fun places to be at. Again, if you seek it, you're gonna find it, but we don't have a clubbing scene that is open 24/7. That just doesn't exist here. So if that's something you're looking for, this might not be the place. Now when it comes to sports and entertainment in that regard, we do have some limited options. We don't have any professional sports teams, but we do have some affiliates like the Iowa Cubs, the Iowa Wolves basketball, and the Iowa Wild hockey. So we do have options for you. They exist, but we don't have the major league sports here. We do, however, have, which I believe is one of the best college rivalries in football and in other sports, if both teams are good, but especially football. Iowa and Iowa State. The University of Iowa is just about an hour and a half to our east, and Ames is not even an hour to our north. So a lot of people go to a lot of these games, and the rivalry is one of the best days of the entire year. And when Iowa plays Iowa State in football, everyone tailgates. It is quite a scene, and it's very accessible if you want to go to either the University of Iowa or Iowa State. So that is a huge option that many people go to, but we do lack major league sports. So something to know about. Again, on the other side of this coin, I think that if you look for things to do, you are going to find them. There's plenty of things to do in the Des Moines area, but compare it to other cities and it might not have as much going on. Now the fifth and final reason in this video is that we have a small airport. And while you might get through security in 15 minutes, I truly don't think I've ever waited in the security line longer than 15 or 20 minutes. It can happen, but it doesn't happen often. You do have to hit a lot of redirect flights or layovers. So whether you travel a lot for work or not, maybe this is going to affect you. I don't think it's a major deal if you're only traveling a few times a year, but it is something to know about. On the plus side, we are also working on building our second terminal, which should be open semi-soon, and that will add a lot more flights. We have continued to add a lot more flights, I feel like every month. I'm seeing new locations added to the map for direct flights, but it's still limited when you compare it to an airport like Minneapolis, Denver, Chicago, or any other major airport. So just knowing that as well is super important, especially if traveling is something that you do for work all the time or something that you love to do and do frequently. Okay, so Des Moines has its downsides, but should you still think about moving here? In my opinion, the answer is yes. I live here, I love it, I live here voluntarily, and I think our community is amazing, and I think that the pros outweigh the cons. Sure, we might not have as much going on for us as a major city, but we win when it comes to affordability, a growing job market, and a growing just city in general as a whole, and we're extremely nice people and family friendly. You have the Iowa Nice, it's a real thing, and I think it's a real thing that makes it worth living here. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any thoughts about this video or any reasons you think you shouldn't live here, drop them in the comments below, and thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to this as we continue to put out more weekly content on Des Moines lifestyle and real estate, and we will see you